greatest sound you'll hear all day. Is your favorite braid faded, overused, wore out, or you just want to change the color? I'm going to show you an easy trick on how to refreshen your braid. Check this out. So, to freshen up our wore out braid, what we're going to do is simply use a Sharpie. Grab our tight line, like so, and we are just going to fill in the blanks. And look at that. From faded white back to black. And this is an old camo braid, so we can do like black and white. If we miss a spot, it's okay because it's camo, right? But look at that. It almost turns invisible right there in the backdrop. And also too, if you want to experiment and play, you could use different colors like red, just for fun, just to show you guys. And now we have a red and black. I don't know how well you could see that. The red is kind of dark, but it looks pretty cool. Just a neat little tip. Also too, you could do your spool end, right? Just grab your spool, see that camo, and just fill it in like so. And believe it or not, this works and it lasts for a while. So, cheap way to refreshen your braid, because braid lasts for a couple years, but if it's starting to lose color and you're losing interest, instead of replacing it, just give it a little touch up. And there you have it, our now camo again braid, using some green, bronze, and black. And there's a little bit of white left too, because the faded parts actually, you know, they give it that more camo look in transition. So that worked out cool. Now, next, I'm going to show you how to change a whole spool color. So recently I've came upon my Ardent Arrow, and it's pretty cool in black and yellow. However, I put blue camo braid on it. As much as I love my Spiderwire Stealth braid in blue and camo, it kind of clashes with the yellow. It looks cool, but it's contrasting. I'm kind of tired of it. So, I'm going to show you how to change the color of your braid on a whole spool with a little easy trick. So, we have a Ziploc bag. What's in the bag? Some Dawn dish soap. The dish soap helps intensify the dye that we're about to use. So, you get some laundry dye, the Rit black. I'm going to use black for black and yellow. And we are going to add this solution to our Ziploc bag. And since we have taken our whole spool off of our reel, there's not really any mechanical parts except for that little thing. But the dye shouldn't affect the metal too much. But more importantly, we're going to try to dye our blue camo braid to black. That way we get a nice, cool color scheme going. So, I'm going to pop that in. Bam. Then, we're going to add our Rit. Alrighty, here we go. And just pour it on in there. Perfect. Be careful with this stuff, guys, because you know it is dye. It'll get everywhere, and whatever you don't want colored is gonna turn colored. Then, with our dish soap, we're just gonna add some hot water and let it sit for a while and let the dyeing begin. I've moved over to our sink, and as you can see, The braid is already turning black and it's pretty intense. We haven't added our hot water yet. I'm excited. So let's get her done. And we've added our hot water. So this is really an experiment. And scientifically speaking, this is our solution. So a solution is when chemicals combine, and a mixture is when chemicals, they mix together, but the molecules don't combine. I don't know, me trying to be scientific. Anyways, this is a cool little experiment that I got going on. I hope it works. We can't see our spool in there. Oh, yeah, there it is. Barely. But we're gonna let it sit for a few hours and hopefully we get the results we want. While waiting, I got bored and I did the bronze, and wow, that looks so sharp. Super excited. I can't wait to see how my black camo comes out, or my blue camo turns to black, and how that turns out. Wow, so 48 hours later, and this is what our result is. That is black. This was in the RIT dye, and I think that did a really good job of soaking it up. You can still see kind of a blue tint hue, but wow, that did really well. This is a comparison to what the braid used to look like. It was a blue camo, and then we dyed it to black for our yellow ardent arrow. Now let's put it together and see if she functions. And look at that. Nice and flawless. Still real smooth. I kind of figured, because the metal coating does have a nice finish, so I didn't think the RIT would do any damage to it or anything. Plus with the Dawn soap, the Dawn is pretty good, but Dawn also degreases, so we may have to re-grease it up, but I don't think so. It reels super smooth. Look how fast that goes. And even if we had to, clean it up a little bit, bam, we got our reel kit. Got some butter, some clean, and more butter. Haha. Anyways, that turned out cool. So if you want to freshen up your braid or change the color, you could use, again, a Sharpie, or just throw the spool in some dye, some RIT. Do it yourself. Keep it fresh, guys. Alright guys, so today we're at this little spillway right here. I got a bait out just for fun. And we're gonna see how long this black dye lasts and this camo lasts, the Sharpie versus the RIT, after a couple hours of fishing. And our final results. So we have our RIT reel, which our spool we dyed in RIT, we dipped our spool in the RIT. I dipped it for 48 hours, and after a long day of fishing, it looks like it just kind of rinsed off. So that little experiment was a bust. The RIT didn't really work to dye our braid. Or spider wire stealth braid is just that good, because you can see it's still blue and black. For comparison, this is fresh braid that was put on, and the RIT made it a little darker, kind of in the gray, or it could have just faded from the water. No, I'm pretty sure that's the RIT. Anyways, it made it a little darker, but it didn't last. So, with that being said, I think our winner is the Sharpie reel, because our camo stayed pretty camo, and it turned out pretty cool too. After casting it out, and just doing the top layer and that bronze layer too underneath, it really turned out to be camo again. Pretty neat. So, if you want to freshen up your braid, Sharpies for the win.